the most positive way that the selfie generation can exist is for one to reflect on themselves at that moment and decide now that is them forever, and that they're able to change and they're able to actually erase negative and toxic patterns of who they've been in the past. And it's not who they are. It's sometimes we get we get used against ourselves. When you show someone that you're a good person, but you show all your weaknesses, it's that person's job almost to expose you for it, because that people need that leverage. Not everyone, but this is a very common thing, especially amongst people who are like, existing in this world in a certain fashion, who developed their own kind of discipline into certain systems. I mean, I've had it up to here with people who say they're Reiki masters and people who think that they like all they're doing is just selling snake oil. All they're doing is just being part of the problem. And it's a shame, because these people are having a hard enough time believing in these things, and then you have these people who are ruining it. But you're always going to have that. I would say the good ways out the bad, but it's kind of frustrating to deal with it, and it puts me in a position where I'm like, we joked around about me calling people out on their shit with this kind of stuff. And now it's not a joke anymore. I already have video of someone whose behavior is deplorable, and how they are as a person in that way. And I'm not judging in any way, shape, or form. I'm only judging by actions, and by the actions that the world naturally takes to show me this person is someone you need to maybe not give as much positive energy, because people who are vampires, or people who, whatever you want to say, they can take a positive thing and turn it negative and use it for themselves, and then kind of scapegoat the fuck out of you. Like, they'll find a way to bring another party involved, and they don't even have to point out and say that person's this, but it's not that kind of scapegoat thing. It's kind of like you're left with the bag of all the responsibility to do all the balancing acts and to help things work out right, and they're these kind of like indignant, selfish little cunt pricks that just get away with whatever the fuck they want to get away with. And because you have the responsibility of understanding it, you see it, and you see it at a level that no one else can see it. And you often, this happens in relationships all the time, and people try to fix it with sex, which is the most foolish thing you can possibly do. So sex is really good, but no, I digress. It's just really stupid. The whole thing is really dumb. Everyone's selling each other snake oil. People are going to start to come clean. They're not going to be able to come clean the way they think they will when the time comes where all this comes to a head, because it's going to by nature, by the systems that we've built our own sort of little things on. There are a lot of limitations to that kind of paint us into a corner. I mean, some people don't realize that's what the whole point of the double-edged sword is. Maybe at first you're trying to say this is my space, but then you're realizing, fuck, this is my space. You cut your own throat by making half-ass actions that have the severity or feel and have the weight and gravity of something deliberate, whereas really it's just a fucking shot in the dark and just grabbing at straws to figure out what the fuck you're doing. And that's what the internet is. There's other levels to the internet, like the Black Ops internet or whatever, like the weird internet. I mean, there's so much things that are going on the internet that you have no idea. It goes way beyond like selling things that are illegal. I mean, that's how people make their money. Government was based on mob mentality. After a while, it decided, okay, these guys are the mob and they control their cities. So let's be like the mob but control cities, and it's even bigger and more like under the guise of all these other things that we can kind of rein and regulate people's actions and behaviors. And that's fine. As long as you don't hurt anybody, then that's good. But there comes a time where you're like, oh, we need to stimulate something. We need to make something happen. We should, you know, go to war with another country, or like poke another country, or like fuck with another country, or fuck with an issue, or try to. It's just a game to see how they can. And it's no they, but it's just the people who are appointed to have those roles. They have to take responsibility for those roles. And what they seem to always forget is the biggest part of their responsibility is the needs of their people. And they're not doing that. They're a bunch of liars. They're all selling everyone snake oil and just waiting for that moment that when it comes to a head, they can say, oh, we knew, we tried to fix it. Oh, a bunch of fucking liars, all snakes in the grass. And the only way to deal with the serpent is to walk away and not listen to what it has to say, because that's all what it is. Parlor tricks, anything. I mean, one of the first conspiracy. It's you think it is. You think it's a good thing, but part of revealing secret meanings or secret things ruin it. I mean, it's self-regulating and it's unlimited. But there's a part where you can be like, the jig's up, man. Stop. Like there's too much shit going on. This concept, this kind of this paradigm that you've chosen for people to abide by is more toxic and more of a pollutant. Cancer is a self-regulating thing. It's not like something that anyone created, but it is something I believe that everyone realizes. And it's not just it's not just the abuse of something. It's also blatant abuse of something you shouldn't do because it has nothing to do with any of the things attached to it. But everything connected to it leads to that. There are people you shouldn't be around because of that. There are things you shouldn't be around because of that. And it causes these things, these illnesses and all these things because people are just completely and totally horrified to be themselves. And they need to be told that they're okay. And in a world where it's getting all crazy, like conspiracy theorism and self-regeneration stuff, it all goes hand in hand. It all goes hand in hand. We're completely and utterly fucking in the firing line at this point. And I just mean that in terms of like, I mean, if you're in a situation and you deal with it, there's always a way out because you rough it out and you figure it out on your own. That's something that this generation has no fucking concept of or any clue. You can do. You have some people. There's exceptions to the rule. There are people who just completely are now kind of like assimilated to their machines and assimilated to everything so much so that they can figure out how to take this apart. And then they learn these new traits, and then they have new trades, and these new trades now could be used with the love and the care that they have, and they can just course through that and push that through and do that. And learn from that, and teach other people from that, and give love to that, and receive love through that. But I understand pearls for swine, but I still think I still think that those things still should be for everyone. It should always be forever. It is for everyone. It's already there. It's right in front of you. You just can't see it. It's right in front of you and you just can't see it. And then it makes the whole conversation of this moot.